앞서 중국의 교육 시스템에 관한 발표에 대해 정말 감사한 점 먼저 드리고 가겠습니다. 여러분 안녕하세요. 제가 알기로는 여러분 몇몇이 한국 드라마의 열렬한 팬인 걸로 들었는데요. 제가 지금부터 여러분께 대한민국과 한국의 교육 시스템에 관하여 설명해 드리겠습니다.
South Korea history and culture. People have been living in Korea for at least 10,000 years. Archaeologists believe the ancestors of today's Koreans came from Mongolia and Siberia. Korea's first kingdom was Old Joseon, which ruled the northwest and parts of China for more than 22 centuries. In 108 BC, it was overthrown by Chinese armies, and three new kingdoms emerged: Goguryeo, Paekje, and Silla. In the AD 660s, the Silla, with the help of Chinese troops, won control of the country. By AD 901, Korea had once again broken into three kingdoms. In 936, a powerful noble named Wang Kong unified the country under the name Goryeo. This kingdom lasted until 1392, when the Yi family seized the throne and began the Joseon dynasty, which ruled until 1910. In 1894, Japan and China sent soldiers to put down an uprising in Korea. Afterward, they and Russia fought for control of Korea, which Japan won in 1910. When Japan lost in World War II, its territories, including Korea, were taken over. Soviet troops occupied the north while U.S. troops stayed in the south. In 1950, the communists in the north invaded the south, sparking the beginning of the Korean War. The war raged until 1953, and more than 2.5 million Koreans, Americans, Chinese, and others died. The war was never officially ended, and the Koreas remained divided. Culture. Despite the political unrest that resulted in the division of the region, these two countries still share the same culture and traditional values. Korea is divided by boundaries, but still united by culture. Korea is greatly influenced by the Chinese and Japanese cultures. This influence can be seen by Confucianism, which established many traditions that can be seen in modern Korea today. These traditions include the ethical code of conduct and social life and showing respect to the elders and family. Koreans also believe in sincerity and loyalty and follow certain codes of conduct while meeting, eating, praying, and even celebrating. At times when many other cultures would shake hands, Koreans bow. They bow as a sign of gratitude and respect to the person they are meeting. South Korean education system. Modern reforms in the field of education in South Korea started in the late 19th century. Before 19th century, there was Confucian education wherein pupils were taught the teachings of Confucius, and later Buddhism was also added to the course of study. During the 19th century, modern education started. Many patriots and foreign missionaries founded private schools and national institutes, forming the basis for Korea's modern education system. In 1945, emerged the democratic education. The government adapted 633 system during that phase and even initiated adult education. The major milestone of this period, 1945-50, was introduction of compulsory education. The law permits all Korean nationals to gain education. All children must attend school at least through the elementary school level. Compulsory education was made free. In 1960s, came the quantitative education. During this period, educational facilities increased, junior colleges were set up, and universities were expanded. Then came the qualitative education in 1980s, during which the Non-Formal Education Act and Preschool Education Support Act were initiated. The 1990s period was known as the current system of education. Education in South Korea is provided by public educational institutions as well as private institutions, and these educational institutions acquire the support and funding from the government. The Korean education system works on a 6334 system. Primary school lasts for 6 years, followed by the middle schools that last for 3 years, and then comes the high school lasting 3 years. After completing the high school, comes the 4 years of undergraduate education. The compulsory education in South Korea lasts for 9 years. Children between the ages 6 to 15 years must attend the compulsory schooling in South Korea, i.e. 6 years of elementary primary schools followed by 3 years of middle schools. South Korean education is divided into school education and higher education. School education encompasses pre-primary education, primary and secondary education. Pre-primary education includes kindergarten and nursery with ages 3 to 6 years old. Primary education in South Korea is compulsory and free starting grades 1 to 6 and ages 6 to 12 or 8 to 13 in Korean years. Secondary education in South Korea encompasses middle schools and high schools. Middle schools. In the middle school, the course of study is split into compulsory and elective subjects along with the extracurricular activities. Start with grades 7 to 9 with the age 12 to 15. High school. Middle school graduates are eligible for high school education that lasts for 3 years. It focuses on offering basic and advanced education based on the middle school education. High school encompasses academic general, vocational and special purpose or specialized high schools start in grade 10 to 12 with the ages 15 to 18, while the higher education institutions in South Korea are colleges and universities, industrial universities, universities of education, junior colleges, broadcast and correspondence universities, technical colleges and other types of institutions. Universities and colleges. The universities offers courses that last for 4 to 6 years and provide theoretical education that is needed for the overall development of the humankind. Junior colleges and industrial universities offer 2 to 3 years higher courses of study. These institutions provide practical education. The graduate schools focus on academic research as well as practical-oriented studies. South Korea is the most educated country in the world. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, 70% of 24 to 35-year-olds in the nation of 51.5 million people have completed some form of tertiary education, the highest percentage worldwide. Korea also has a top-quality school system when measured by student performance in standardized tests. The country consistently ranks among the best-performing countries in the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, PISA. Hagwon culture in South Korean education. Hagwon's institutions throughout South Korea that students often attend in substitution of public kindergarten or preschool as an after-school program. Some have nicknamed these institutions crammers, as Hagwons in South Korea typically teach a fast-paced curriculum in subjects including English grammar, mathematics, fine arts and music. Nearly 100,000 Hagwons can be found throughout the country, and 95% of students have taken lessons from these institutions by the time they graduate high school. South Korean parents spent over $15 billion, or 18 trillion Korean won, on private education annually. That's more than triple the average Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) country's expenditure on private education, and more than anywhere else in the world. Self-harm was the #1 cause of premature death in 2016. Self-harm claims approximately 900 lives annually and continues to be the second leading cause of death for adolescents and young adults under 30. Depression and anxiety disorders rank 4th and 9th, respectively, for health problems causing the most disability. Hagwons in South Korea is designed to enhance students' cognitive abilities and contribute to South Korea's admirable reputation of educational devotion. However, the responsibility may also add pressure on Korean students and compromise their mental health. But in 2016, the South Korean government imposed curfew to Hagwons. 10 facts about Korean education. 1. How long is a school day in South Korea? The average high school student generally has class from about 8 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. For the average Korean high school student, the goal is to get into good college, and often, the competition is high. As a result, many will attend a Hagwon, aka a private after-school learning program, to accelerate their learning. 0. Koreans have school on Saturdays. If you think Korean students have the weekend for recreation, think again. The official school days were originally Monday to Saturday, which didn't make for happy students or teachers. Since 2010, the school schedule has changed and loosened up. Now the Korean public school system has 2 Saturdays per month off. 0. Teachers are respected in Korea. In Korea, the saying is, teachers are as high as God. Unlike in the Philippines, students are gods. You wouldn't guess that from their pay scale, but teachers hold a valuable and respected place in society. Korea emphasizes education and schooling to the power of 100. As a result, Korea possesses a high regard for its Korean teachers as being pillars of the schooling system. Retirement age isn't until 65 years old. Seniority means increased pay and the overall work hours. Holidays and vacation benefits are said to be better than regular office jobs. 4. There is a business side to teaching in Korea. 5. There is a 5-year teacher-principal rotation cycle. Teachers rotate schools every 5 years. It doesn't matter if you love your school or not. After each 5-year term, the teachers, vice principal and principal undergo a lottery system and have to change schools. Thus, each year, a school may get new staff. This system is born to give each teacher an equal opportunity to work at good schools and bad. All teaching staff is subject to evaluation system and receive points for exams they take, workshops they attend, as well as receive incentive points for how well their school ranks in the district. Also, there are certain schools which are known to be model schools. These are the schools that Korean teachers want to teach at, where they have high-performing students, and other Korean teachers will make a trip to see how they run their classes and organize their programs to get their students to focus and learn. Learning is a serious business. 6. Role-playing lessons can be very Hollywood style. 7. Corporal punishment is still alive, although quite hushed. While in the Philippines, corporal punishment of children blares immediate lawsuit, the Korean educational system and parents have less of an issue with physical discipline in school classrooms. Corporal punishment used to be allowed, and now is somewhat tolerated, covertly. The school system is cracking down on this abuse, but it still happens in some schools. Korea has, however, employed physical discipline for disobedience in the past. The one below is a hands-off method I've seen used in some classrooms, as a way to make the students reflect on their wrong behavior by challenging their mental endurance. But in the Philippines, this method might still alarm some Filipino parents, who are quick to see any type of physical suffering as abuse to a child, let alone any punishment can be questionable by Philippine standards. 8. Why do some Korean students have English names? Korean folks with English names are often very proud of them. Alice, Lola, or Angelina, some just make you want to hold back a giggle because they're either dated or feel like role-play names. But ever wonder where Koreans get their names? Well, you can blame it on the foreign English teacher that gave it to them. 0. Students take responsibility for the cleanliness of their school. 10. There is shoe etiquette in the Korean classroom. Insights to the South Korea educational system. Education has contributed to the growth of Korea's democratic government. It has produced hardworking, skilled employees who have brought about an economic miracle within a single generation. It has reaffirmed traditional values while maintaining its commitment to modernization, citizenship, and global involvement. The ambitious and comprehensive reform plans developed in 1995 by the Ministry of Education still appear to enjoy widespread public and professional support. A broad spectrum of the society recognizes the need for lifelong learning as a precept for social and economic improvement.
들어주셔서 감사합니다. 제 발표가 재밌었다면 참 좋겠네요. 안녕히 계세요.